Sleep deprivation as a new parent. So if you have a newborn, I totally understand what you're going through. I totally get all of the craziness that you're experiencing and the total lack of sleep that you have. I'm sure in the past you've, stayed up all night, went out drinking, whatever. And you were like, oh, no problem. I can deal with sleep deprivation. Probably during your pregnancy, you had to get up a million times, you had to pee, you were uncomfortable. You were like, oh, I can deal with this. And then the baby actually gets here and you're like, holy crap. Oh my God, I cannot deal with this. I have not slept in days. It feels like years. So I really want to get to what you can do to kind of get used to that sleep deprivation, then get it better, and different ways and tools that you can use to get more sleep as a new mom. But before I go into that, I just want to go over the fact that sleep deprivation is used as a torture mechanism in other countries and has been used for centuries. The reason I'm telling you this is because sleep deprivation causes a whole slew of different kinds of problems. And one of them is depression, anxiety, and hallucinations. So I would say, from my personal opinion, that sleep deprivation can lead to postpartum depression and anxiety. So the mere fact that you haven't slept for so many days, so many hours, and you're not ever really catching up or getting that adequate sleep, you can start to kind of lose your mind. So when people say sleep when the baby sleeps, you're like, yeah, right, how can I do that? My biggest advice to you is to figure it out and find a way to sleep when the baby sleeps. The reason is that the longest a person went without sleep was 19 days. And they died. People die of not being able to sleep before they die of hunger. Again, I will repeat, they die from sleep before they die from hunger, not being able to sleep. And in the first year, or I think it's the first 6 months, you will lose a year of sleep in the first 6 months of having a newborn, which is just like absurd. I'm pretty sure that's the statistic, a year of sleep. So if you do not get adequate sleep, you will lose your mind just from the mere fact that you didn't sleep. Not because you're depressed or anxious. It will cause you to be depressed, anxious, irritable, seeing things, hearing voices. Just that in itself, not being able to sleep, will cause all these other problems. So the biggest thing that you really need to do is try to get as much sleep as possible. So to speed this up a little bit, the first thing you want to do is when the baby goes down, don't start cleaning the freaking house. Don't start doing the dishes. Don't, do the laundry. It can freaking wait. You need to lay down. I don't care if you don't sleep. I just care that you lay there. You lay there. If you want to put the TV on, you need to lay flat. You need to give your body a rest. It needs to rejuvenate. The way that your body works is that when you go to sleep, your brain goes through all the stuff that went through the day and it calms itself down. Okay. It's like in a state of meditation for 8 hours. It needs that to rejuvenate itself, to get rid of all of the toxins, to get all of those happy chemicals moving, to get your metabolism going. There are so many benefits to sleep. So even if you're not 100% sleeping when the baby sleeps, just lay there. Okay. I had a really hard time napping when my son was young, and I was like refusing to nap like a crazy person. And then what I would do is I would spend the whole day not napping, right? And then when he would finally get up from his last nap, I'd be exhausted, and then I have to take care of this kid, and then I would start to get, lose my temper a little bit, or start to get a little aggravated and irritated. So every 3 days I would go through this cycle of not being able to sleep, right? I wouldn't nap all day, and then my husband would go to work and I'd be up all night, and same thing went on. And every 3 days I would have a huge meltdown that I haven't slept in days. I'm too tired. I can't handle this. So how I kind of went about doing this was, number one, I started laying down like I talked about. Second thing is meditation, and I'm going to hone this in every Facebook Live that I have. Meditate. It's 3 minutes a day. It helps you regulate your sleep cycle. It's so important. There is also this amazing thing called Yoga Nidra. It's about a 20-minute, well, it could be anywhere between 10 and an hour, but about a 20-minute meditation that you can find on YouTube. And it gives you about 2 to 3 hours of adequate sleep. But it's a meditation, so you lay there for about 20 minutes. So that's probably about the time that your baby will be asleep. Might be a half hour, might be 45 minutes. But at least if you can get that time, that anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour, where you're just laying there and maybe you're not sleeping, but you're calming yourself, you're calming your body, you're getting your body a chance to rejuvenate get all those happy chemicals going again so that you feel rested. So it's called Yoga Nidra. I give it to my clients. I show them the videos that they can use. It's so great, especially if you're not a napper during the day with the baby. It will definitely give you about 2 to 3 hours of adequate sleep without a doubt. The only shitty thing is that you can't move the entire time that you're listening to it. But every time you do, it gets a little bit easier. You get a little bit more rejuvenated. So try that out. So lay down, meditate, Yoga Nidra. Also a sleep shift schedule. Now, my husband was only home for a week after the baby was born. I know a lot of you get paternity leave, or your husbands get paternity leave and they're home for a month or 3 months. That's wonderful. I'm jealous. I got a week. And what I thought was that, because he goes to work and I'm staying home, that it's my job to take care of the baby at night and during the day. And let me tell you, that is not your job. Okay. Your husband had a baby too. He's not babysitting, he's helping. It is his job as well. So even though he goes to work, you're working too. Being a stay-at-home mom, even if you're just on maternity leave, it is a full freaking time job. It never ends. It's 24/7, 365 days a year. It does not end. So in order for you to get the adequate amount of sleep that you need, your husband has to start getting up in the middle of the night too. So if that means you have to pump to get the breast milk out, or he has to bring in the baby, or he has to calm the baby when the baby's crying and he doesn't want to be fed, or change the diapers, you have to create some sort of sleep shift schedule. So if that means that you get up one night and the next night your husband gets up, and so on and so forth, you need to figure out some sort of sleep shift schedule so that you all at least get 4 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. So if that means you have to go sleep in another room, then go fucking sleep in another room. Don't sleep in the same room as the baby so you hear the baby crying and then you hear your husband getting up and slamming the doors and all this stuff. Don't do that. Sleep in a different room so you can't hear anything and you have no reason to get up. And what my husband and I did is we had like duties. It was like, okay, it was your turn to get up, and then it was my turn to get up. So no matter what happened, unless there was some kind of, crazy reason, you would not wake the other person. So make sure that you don't wake dad when it's your turn. And dad doesn't wake you when it's your turn. So make sure you have that sleep shift schedule in there. It's so important for you to have adequate amount of sleep. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you're rotating the times. And the last thing, I use a lot of essential oils. I love essential oils. They're awesome. The two of my favorites that's also safe for the baby, like in the room or on you, is lavender and frankincense. You can put them on the bottom of your feet or behind your ears or even on your wrists so that you can get that kind of like relaxation period. So if you need to nap during the day, that's a good thing to put in a diffuser or to put on your feet or your neck when you're ready to nap. And it's especially great if you want to do it at night. It's wonderful. So make sure that you put those essential oils on. It's great. It's safe for them to be able to use in the diffuser with the baby. Just make sure you dilute it a lot if you put it in the diffuser. So that's the 4 things that you need to do to avoid the sleep deprivation as much as possible. Another thing that I did, take the night off. Maybe once a week, twice a month, whatever. Take the night off. Go sleep somewhere else. I know if you're exclusively breastfeeding, it's a little bit hard, but you can always pump, and you can pump wherever you are. Take the night off. Go sleep at your mom's. Go sleep at your friend's house. Go sleep in the basement. I don't know. Take the night off where you're not up when the baby's up, where you can actually get a full night's sleep, where you can sleep in the next day or whatever. If you can do that, take the night off. Please do. It will definitely rejuvenate you. It's like going to the spa. It's just you're getting adequate sleep, and then you'll come back and you'll feel refreshed and ready to take on your duties as mom. And you'll be able to think more clearly and more logically, be able to get things done around the house as much as possible and with the baby. So that's the other thing. And my last tip that you can do is, I would say buy the book, The Happiest Baby on the Block, but you're probably not going to have enough time to read. They have a movie that you can, I don't know, order, buy, maybe rent. I can't remember if Amazon has it where you can rent it. It's probably like an hour. And it gives you little tips on how to get a baby to sleep between the ages of 0 to 4 months. If it's after 4 months, it's a whole different ball game. But if you're a new mom and you're from 0 to 4 months, The Happiest Baby on the Block gives you some tips, and they do these 5 tips that will help them sleep a little bit better throughout the night and during nap times. and it helps them to regulate their sleep-wake cycle. So just a couple of tips for you. If you're dealing with sleep deprivation, make sure you're getting as much sleep as humanly possible. I know it sounds impossible, but you can totally do it. Use these tips, lay down, meditate, use the yoga nidra, do the sleep shift schedule, and use those essential oils. Take the freaking night off every once in a while. You deserve it. You're an awesome mom. Thank you all so much for being on the line with me today. Sorry it was so short. I will look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much.